Yes, welcome to the session 3, Strength of Materials, to the chapter 1, Stress Strain. Myself Prasanna, lecturer in Mechanical Engineering, Government Polytechnic, Mulbagar. This is chapter 1, Simple Stress and Strain. We came across the what is the stress, what is the strain, what is the properties of materials, and what is the content which has been content in the properties of materials. In these sessions, we will be discussing what is the tensile stress, what is the tensile strain, compressive strain, shear stress, shear strain, thermal stress, thermal strain. Okay. The first topic in this slide, we are going to study what is the tensile stress and tensile strain. We know that the stress, it is the internal resistive force. Whatever the material will be having the internal resistive force. How this internal resistive force will be created? Because whenever the force has been applied, various types of force, that is the various types, depending upon the tensile force, the tensile stress will be created as well as tensile strain will be created. This tensile force, it is the pulling force. It is not a pushing force. The pulling force will be applied at the both the end. You can observe the figure clearly. Okay, this is the, consider it is a bar of any material. Okay, the load has been applied, one F at the right end, another F at the another end. Both the hand the load has been applied, and we will be having the area of a particular dimensions. This area can be given in the dimension like pi d square by 4. Okay, normally what happens, the stress, it will be, know that the stress is defined as the load acting per unit area. The load is defined in the Newton, whereas the area is given in the meter square or millimeter square or centimeter square. Therefore, the stress is denoted by Newton per meter square, that is the unit. Okay, in this what happens, the tensile forces, the tensile is been applied on the both the end of a body with the equal forces. Once the body has been applied, once the body is been subjected to the equal and opposite force, so that what happens, there will be a tendency in increase in length. There is a chances of tendency in increases in its length. Okay, so that what happens, the stress has been produced. Which stress? Because of the tensile stress that has been the stress is been applied is a tensile force. So that what happens, the tensile stress been occurred. What happens due to this? What happened due to this? You can easily observe the area has been decreased. The area has been decreased, whereas the length has been increased. There is a change in length, right? You can observe the figure, that is the LO, that is the original length, and you can see the delta L. Delta L is nothing but the change in length. Whenever the tensile forces has been applied at the both the ends, what happens, it contracts the material at the both the sides, so that the material will be fetched, so that the material will be fetched. So due to the corresponding tensile strengths which occurs, the change in length, by original length, then it is called as the tensile strain. Due to this tensile strain, there is a decrease in area but increase in length. Those deformation acting per unit length, that is change in length per unit length is called as the tensile strain, right? Tensile stress is nothing but the stress, the tensile load acting per unit area, whereas the tensile strain, it is defined as the change in length, that is the deformation acting per unit length, right? This is the tensile stress and tensile strain. Next we go into the next slide. Okay, in this content we have been discussing what is the compressive stress and what is compressive strain. See, we have been discussed the various loads. Depending upon the various loads only, the corresponding stresses and the corresponding strain will be occurred, right? In the first slide we have been discussed what is the types of loads. We have the tensile load, we create the tensile stress and tensile. We have the compressive load, we have been creating the compressive stress as and compressive strain. We have the shear stress, shear load means shear stress and shear strain will occur. We have the torsion load means torsion stress as well as torsion strain will be created. Okay, you can observe in the figure. Okay, in this figure the bar is subjected to the both the end of the compressing forces, that is it has been pushing, not pulling, it has been pushing the bar element, so that due to this compressive force which has been acting in its unit area, it has been acted in the unit area, so that due to this compressive load acting per unit area it is called as a compressive stress. Okay, when a body is subject to the equal and opposite force to compress, its mates tends to decrease in length, whereas in the tensile stress it will be increases in its length, but whereas in compressive stress it has been made to decrease in length. This stress is induced is called as compressive stress, right friends? Again, same the length, right? Compressive strain is the shortening length per unit original length of an object, whereas in the tensile strain it has been increasing length. Okay, whereas this has been compressed, it has been shortening the length, but it has been increasing its area. The area will be gradually increased compared to the tensile strain, whereas in the compressive strain the area will be gradually increased, whereas in the tensile strain the area will be gradually decreased, right? This is the compressive stress and compressive strain. Next we go for the next slide. Yes, shear stress and the shear strain. See the figure, it's very hinged, right? For example, for better example, in the automobile vehicle, if you go in the automobile vehicle, the chassis, the engine mounting will be hinged. Okay, there is a nut and bolt is nothing, it has been a fastening mechanisms. Okay, one chassis will be applied in the another force, another stress will be the induced there. Okay, see the figure, it is a shear stress, right? The load is applied on the upper end, another load is applied in the bottom end. The stress induced in a body when subjected to two equal and opposite forces which are acting tangentially upon the resisting section. Okay, one force is applied on the upper body, another force is applied on the lower body, which is having the two equal and opposite forces which acts tangentially at the resisting sections. So thus due to this it results to shear off across the section. Once you apply the load equally and gradually, what happens? Due to the enormous actions of the load, it alters the grain structure inside the material so that the material will be sheared. The moment when the body tends to shear, it is called as the shear stress, and corresponding to this, it is shear strain. This is the shear stress and shear strain. The entire unit for stresses will be Newton per meter square, Newton per millimeter square, Newton per centimeter square, and it will be given as Pascal. 1 Pascal, right? 1 bar equals 1 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square, right? Next slide we go for thermal stress and thermal strain. What is this one? See, whenever the material, if you see the material, what happens? For example, you make the aluminum door as well as the cast iron door. What happens in the climatical conditions while closing the door and opening the door will be contracted. Okay, we need to apply the oil or lubricating oil on the shelves so that it can be easily opened as well as closed. Why it happens like this? Because due to the climatical conditions, the material will be taken to the contractions as well as expansion due to the climatical temperature. Okay, in this, the stress which is induced in a body due to the change in the temperature is known as thermal stress. Whenever the body tends to change due to the temperature, whether it might be or it may be any alter in the crystal structure, then that stress is called as a thermal stress, and the corresponding strain is called as the thermal strain. The thermal stress induces in a body when the temperature of the body is raised. Okay, whenever the thermal stress is induced in the body, the temperature of the body is raised or lowered, and the body is not allowed to expand or contract freely. Right? We go for the next slide. That is a multiple choice question. Yes, we have the totally we have the three questions only. First questions we go for, what is the tensile strain? Tensile strain is option A, increase in length by original length, option B, decrease in length by original length, option C, change in volume by original volume, option E, all of the above. We go for the tensile strain is increase in length by original length. Will we go for the answer? Yes, the answer is one is A, that is the increase in length by original length. Number 2, compressive strain is option A, increase in length by original length, option B, decrease in length by original length, option C, change in volume by original volume, option D, all of the above. What will become here? The option B, that is the decrease in length by original length. Third question, volumetric strain is option E, increase in length by original length, option B, decrease in length by original length, option C, change in volume by original volume, option D, all of the above. For the third question, the answer is C, change in volume by the original volume. Let me check the question. Yes, the answer is tensile strain is increase in length by original length, compressive strain is decrease in length by original length, volumetric strain is change in volume by original volume. Yes, in this, at the end of the objective, it has been, we have been came to know the what are the strains, different types of strains. There is a tensile strain which is occurred due to the tensile stresses, tensile loads, whereas compressive stress and compressive strain is been occurred due to the compressive loads. Shear stress and shear strain will be occurred due to the shear loads, which acts as a tangentially, which is at the resisting point to get sheared. And finally, we came across the thermal stresses and thermal strain, where the material is subjected to the material temperature which has been increased or decreased due to the climatical conditions. And once we finish all this, we came across the various multiple choice questions. Thank you.